Good evening. I am asked to perform a function of recognizing some of the stalwarts of our history. People have made a difference in our lives, our journey of democracy, in recognition of our arts, our culture, and the things that define us. But before I even talk to those things that define us and recognizing those important stalwarts in our history, may I start off by saying, Nina Begnene Dlamini Sagbona Babe 80 Sagbingele Enkos. Please Bingelele Babe Masugu. I wouldn't say what Babe Dlamini said, which is from the same school. Yes, I come from your school. I come from Salisha, from grade 1 to Form 5. So I had the full journey. And Nabanya Bashoni. And the delegates to Sanbonga for coming and joining us this evening. So when Elias was saying something about, almost similar to saying that I need to hand over the baton, he was insinuating that I need to retire. So I'm not sure how you retire in family events. I understand retiring at the corporate things when you're employed, CEO, MD, whatever. But how do you retire in a family event or family structure? Whether it's a foundation, I am not certain. So we'll still have a discussion under the mango tree tomorrow. What he wants me to do in retiring. But one thing that I know is I am willing to hand over the baton. Uzweli will assist me in running this session, this part of the event. And this is acknowledging one thing, whilst I'm questioning it, that I must hand over the baton. It's a conundrum. So, in putting some context to this thing of recognizing some of the stalwarts in our continent, I'd like to talk about the family very briefly before I even talk to the families that will be recognizing today. The journey that we traversed as a family is a journey that was a beautiful one only today for us to understand it when we look at how and what our old man did. Our old man comes from a village called Ngobi, and he left his village at the age of 17 years to join the Second World War because they had nothing. They had lost everything. The cows that the mother and father had raised were sold, and he had to go to war. There was a conscription process. And he ended up in Egypt, served in the Second World War, under what was known as the Native Military Corps. And he returned, and he was given a coat, a bicycle, a bag of flour, and they said, we will give you one additional thing. We will train you. We'll provide you a trade. And the trade that he attained was a bricklayer. He said, I want to be a bricklayer. And he became a bricklayer. He started his trade in Temba, Hammanskraal. And this is where he met this pretty lady, Magogo. And they got married. And this is why we're standing here. That's a journey. They moved from Hammanskraal to Soweto. They created another homestead for us, a beautiful house in Fulo North. That's where I was born. I will include Elias. And Joanna. Joanna, stand up. I don't think they know you much. Please. So we come from a family of 9, but today we are 3. And the order is such that once I'm asked to retire, I'm supposed to be the eldest in the family. Joanna is the second. She comes after me. Elias is the last born today, but he's telling me to retire. It's okay. The beauty is that we still have our old man who is 98, as Elias says, in the next few months. You are welcome to this party at number 43 Suroni Park as we celebrate his 98th birthday. I think it's going to be something worthwhile for him, especially the 3-year journey, the 3-year request that he asked, not only from God, but from Umfundis Ubabo, Umfundis Shabalal, that Umfundis, I go pela ukhulumele, send a telegram or a WhatsApp and give me 3 more years. So I don't know what happens with the 3 years. So our journey as a family led us to a discovery of something that was beautiful, that was unique, and it brought us to Swaziland. My old man met, excuse me, Masilela, Vunganze, Usegalave, Langeni, Ubabumaboya, Masilela. And Ubabumaboya Masilela told him about Swaziland. He said, there's a place called Swaziland. Beautiful. Bantu bayatiphethe. Bangibo njena. Hey, kumnanzi. And my dad made his first trip to Swaziland in the 50s. And he fell in love with Swaziland. His first trip was in the 50s. I think it must have been 58, 59. And he loved Swaziland. And the next trip that he made was in 1965 when he decided, he said, I am going to Swaziland, I am going to settle, I'm going to settle with my family. So this journey was completing something, a growing family, understanding our dynamics around us. And in moving to Swaziland, it also attracted other things. The identification or bringing us much closer to the armed struggle, to a liberation struggle, to the fact that we were not a free people in South Africa. And that journey had to be taken in a different direction. And we had to acknowledge that we had to walk that journey of freedom. So first it's education, next is identifying freedom in a different country, and also your plight for your own freedom. And this is the journey that our father traveled and my mother traveled. The next thing, the house in number 43 became a safe house. It was housing all the ANC and PAC combatants. A beautiful story. Now, what is more beautiful about this story is the fact that from this family of 9, my mother always made sure that we had not antagonistic issues around our political differences. They were not separating us and tearing us apart. The PAC guys would come to our house, the ANC guys would come to the house, and she welcomed all of them. And she even dealt with this thing more at a microcosm, level, whereby Elias was ANC, Joanna was ANC, Todd was ANC, Swazi was ANC, Tandi was ANC already in Bulgaria, Grace was ANC, having left PAC, training in Libya, and Magogo being ANC, Masilela transporting arms for the ANC, Elias being arrested for transporting arms for ANC, almost missing his examinations, and Ulaki Masilela was PAC. It never tore us apart. It brought us even closer because of Magogo. She said one thing: we have a common enemy. Our differences do not matter. It is going to be the success of our struggle that will be paramount in everything that we do. And we accepted that. I can still hug Elias today. You can come for a hug. I can hug Joanna. You can come for a hug. I'm offering you that, by the way. Come. I'm asking you for a hug. Now, whilst you're coming up for this hug, No, quickly, because now I need... Uzweli is marking time. ANC.
Another ANC. They are still me.
And we're the last remaining of this generation. In the order I was standing, by the way. He looks taller than Joanna, but yeah, that's the order. It was not designed, it was not planned, but it turns out that way. Please. So, colleagues, why am I taking this route this day? I'm taking you into confidence. I want you to understand what lives in us, what we are feeling when we recognize these patrons of our struggle. It is not an easy choice. It is something that is well thought. It is something that I think it's well deserved. So, in the past we've spoken, we've seen ANC people, but today we start off by recognizing the founder of the Pan-Africanist Congress, Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, who has written broadly around the issues of Pan-Africanism. This is why I said remains my. Am I on the right track with Robert Sobukwe?
Yes.
So, if we understand the history of Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism is something that was not originating on the continent of Africa. It's something that originates from the diaspora. It originates with the likes of Marcus Garvey. It originates with the likes of W. Du Bois. Even more beautiful is the fact that Marcus Garvey, in his journey of connecting the Africans in their diaspora, he went into this industry of shipping or logistics or moving. And if you think about it and you think hard and long, it was the ships that took Africans to Americas and Europe. And Marcus Garvey goes into the ship industry. What is he saying? The symbolism is that I want to take you Africans away from the Americas, away from Europe, away from wherever you are, on this very ship that enslaved you, back onto the continent. So, this was adopted by our great leaders, Pan-Africanism, and in doing so, we want to take this opportunity and thank our leaders for embracing Pan-Africanism and making it part of our agenda as a continent, and for the Organization of African Unity to equally hold on to it, and the formation of the Liberation Committee addressing those issues. Today we do not have the OAU, we have the African Union, which has more of an economic agenda, Agenda 2063. Nothing has changed. Our plight is still the same. So, on that note, Zweni, assist me in welcoming our guest who is going to receive a token of appreciation on behalf of the Masilela family to the Sobukwe families.